Hi, this is Heath, and this is a collection of audio that I've found interesting and impactful on my work and in my life over the last 3 weeks.
They have something called Rant and Rave. Rave to the two people who smashed into my car at a stoplight, beat me up, stole my wallet, cell phone, and car, and left me bleeding on the pavement. Later in the emergency room, an electrocardiogram showed I had an AFib heart rhythm, which led to many tests showing I probably would have had a heart attack within 2 to 3 months. You saved my life.
Perspective on one's own life. I hear great examples of perspective when I interview 50 to 105-year-olds and what they tell themselves about their own life and how it has created their current day psyche and personality and presence. Hear Tony's story. He's in his mid-80s and there was an event in his life that just gave him this lightness to how he approached his life.
We went through Austria, through Vienna, and that was still it was still divided at that stage. It was still in the Russian territory. And then you went over a bridge in the Danube. There was the last check by the Russians. And when you got to the other side of the bridge, the Americans had another check. When we started moving again, I was once more offered a cup of tea, and I said to the man with very little English, and I said, we now in American zone. And they said, yes. So now I can speak anything I like. And he said, within reason. I said, if I say Churchill is an idiot, the other bloke said, some people might even agree with you.
Wow.
And that was the biggest thing I've always remembered it, because all of a sudden, it was just as though I'd been carrying a bloody great backpack, and I'd finally taken that backpack off. And you didn't realize it while you were in a communist country, but you always had to censor your thoughts, because before you ever spoke, otherwise, well, I wouldn't have gotten into trouble, but my
That's right.
stepfather and mother would have gotten into trouble.
It sounds like that trip, because you've mentioned it a couple of times, Tony, was quite the defining trip of your life, your younger life. Is it sort of a point where you can see
emancipation?
yeah, where your childhood is over, really. You've got these mixed feelings. I am sure you're on a train in the big world, not just going through what is some tension in those parts of the world. You have adults around you, probably you're thinking, what do they all want and what are they after? But secondly, you're on your way to see your father, who you wouldn't really, you said you don't know him, and you're going there, and this a wave of emotion, because I could see it in your face just then.
It was a very defining moment. And sometimes I think I probably got into trouble because I upset people, because I for a little while, I simply said anything that went into my mind.
Yes, that's right, because you've got no filter. And then you would be like, well, now I can speak my heart and my truth. And yes, it would be very
uplifting.
All I want is the best for our lives, my dear. I someday might pause and say, I someday smile, we were for that cemetery mile.
I record audio memoirs, conversations that hopefully transcend time, the human condition, what it has been like to live here for 50, 60, 70, 100 plus years on Earth, living, breathing, examining yourself, or maybe not examining yourself. That's what the Dissect podcast does. They dissected one of my favorite albums of all time, Frank Ocean's Blonde. That podcast, along with a myriad of other resources and influences, have inspired and influenced how I create and produce these audio memoirs. This summation of the song Siegfried and what it means to me and how I can see these exact sentiments and articulations. How Cole the host made me bawl my eyes out is the exact feeling of playback interviews and how I arrived here.
Which means everything. There's no shame or self-loathing. There's no crisis. Unquote. After experiencing a song like Siegfried, we might ask ourselves how much of our own life is lived inside the idea of another man's mind. How much of our life's movie is directed by someone else? How much is rendered mundane or limited because of a fear of the outside, because of insecurity, because we dread the judgment of our parents, our friends, our partners, or society at large? How brave can we become in our true conscious acknowledgement of such influences? An acknowledgement that is almost certain to be excruciatingly humbling, and has the potential to trigger a personal existential crisis not unsimilar to the one Frank displays on Siegfried. And further, once acknowledged, can we find the courage to light ourselves afire like a phoenix in order to be reborn, to transcend our fears, to grow past our insecurities, and with the resurrection of the potential deep within us all, escape from the ideas inside the minds of others, and become not actors, but auteurs of the film that is our life.
I'm sure we're taller in another dimension. You say we're small and not worth the mention. You're tired of moving, your body's aching. We could vacate, there's places to go. Clearly this isn't all that there is. Can't take what's been given, but we're so okay here, we're doing fine. Mama and naked, you dream of walls that hold us in prison. It's just a skull, at least that's what they call it, and we're free to roam.
There's a picture above my desk where I spend hours and hours, meticulous, enjoyable hours, producing, editing, and refining the conversations I have with 50 to 100 plus year olds. But this photo above my desk is me from exactly 20 years ago holding a guitar. And I went to university to do that. I wanted to go not because I wanted to learn the thing that I'd enrolled to do. I wanted to learn how to play guitar, how to sing, how to get up in front of drunk audiences and make them laugh. And I did that with my best friend for years. And there was this little guitar club that we used to run, my best mate and I. He held this acoustic guitar night in a lovely small theatre on campus. And it's the first time I'd ever performed outside of my comfort zone. I'm not a singer, nor am I. And I look at that photo of me from that night, and I am proud of myself. And I know Heath from then would also, from 2004, would look at me now and be extremely proud of what I've done and what I continue to do. And I've tried every single day to create some sort of magic here on Earth since that day. I really believe that in my heart of hearts.
How you guys going? Tonight, I can't believe this is happening. Like, it's such a good thing when people listen to music and get together as a group, and I don't know, it's pretty amazing how we're all in one place, and it's very uplifting, I think. I love you too. So yeah, this song's about what I'm going to do when I'm old, I think. It's called In the Desert. When I am older, when I am 99, I'm gonna die in the country. Here in Bathurst. It's why the country's mine, and there'll be no concrete, just green trees and some cows. 'Cause it's never hard in the country like it is where I live now. But if I die tonight in my bed, still in this town, all these sounds in my head, I'll never have been to the desert, the city, the country, to die there because I was busy and blind. And I did not find the time, and I would not have felt alive when I am older. Thank you.